Good evening everybody, big welcome to our 12 days of Christmas. So every evening for the 12 days of the month of December, we are doing a demonstration decorating of your Christmas door wreath. And we're trying to do a few unusual ones, something a little bit different. But obviously if there's something that you would like us to do, something maybe on trend or something that you would like us to show you, how do we go about it, put it in the comments there and let us know. And we'll try and oblige as many of you as we possibly can. So to get started, let me know who's watching, where are you watching in from, and what's the weather like. Here in Dublin it's a nippy evening, it is, but you know what, it has been dry for a little while, so we won't complain too much. So the wreath I'm going to do this evening, I'm going to do a combination of pinks and silvers, with obviously a little bit of natural added in as well. Over the 12 nights, on one of the nights I will do an all pink one, another night I'll do an all silver one, and then tonight, as I said, it's a combination. This particular ribbon, I have used it before and absolutely everybody adored it. It is really, really nice. It was quite expensive. And it's probably something that you'll only buy in a flower shop. But listen, you can substitute it for a different type of fabric ribbon. You know what I mean? Again, what suits you. This ribbon has a little wire in the edges of it, so it makes it easier to make your bow. So I'm doing what we call our collar bow. And I know lots of people were asking us, Janette, can you show that one again? So that's the idea, as if your head was inside the scarf, you know the way, wrapped around your neck. And my finger here, this is what I call the back of the bow. So you bring the back of the bow in level with the front of the bow and turn it on its side. And it doesn't really look like it, but we call that a figure 8 bow. And where my two thumbs are, so just bring them out there, they're buried in the feathers, you do like a little bit of gathering, squeezing, puckering and squashing. So squash it all in there as tight as you possibly can, and then bring a wire around the center of it. So bring the two pieces of wire together here at the back, squashing them together as tight as I can, and then really wrapping one around the other, screwing them in there together nice and tight. Then I'm able to go back and fluff out the loops, as I call it, pull the tails downwards on an angle, and then you can get your scissors and you can do like a fancy cut up into it. We were at an event recently and one of the girls that was there actually had a jacket, and you would swear it was made in this material. Deirdre and myself both went mad for it and we said, oh my god, like that jacket is absolutely gorgeous. It definitely was our theme colours. So again, just fancying off the ends there. And there is our bow. And you can decide to have your bow at the bottom of your wreath or the top of your wreath. So I'm going to, got feathers all over the place here. I'm going to have this one at the bottom of the wreath. So I'm going to stick our wire right through. Now again, lots of people are asking me, what do I do with the wire underneath? So there's the wire after coming through. I bend it over like into a U-bend or a horseshoe, and I stick it back up into the frame there, secure it in nice and tight, and that's what holds your bow on in place. Now I was in, I think it was Lidl or Aldi, I'm always getting them mixed up because I go to both of them, but I was in one of them recently and they had these small little baubles, and these were all in the one box. There was kind of silvers and pinks in the one box. So again with the baubles, we always do a little blob of glue on the edge of the, you know where the crown goes into the bauble. We always put a tiny little bit of glue there. I normally get my dad to do it, I'll be honest. And it just stops the baubles kind of like falling off that little crown, holds them in place. And then using a 20 gauge wire, I wired two of the baubles together on the one wire. You can put three, you can even do them singly if you wish. And it just kind of like holds them in place. So I'm just dividing up, so I have 5 groups of the baubles. So I'm just dividing them up, you know. Might actually put these two kind of down here into the center of the actual bow, make it look like that the bow is tied together there with the two baubles. And these ones here, I wired them separately. Now the reason why I wired them separately, I could only find one at the time, and I knew there had to be an even number, so I just wired it up. And then afterwards then I found the other one, so I just wired that one up separately as well. And there's no way this is perfectly even. Whereas I'm always saying to like any of your followers there that are watching, when you're making Christmas wreaths, don't overthink it. Just lob the stuff in and hope for the best. So there you can see I've added a couple of baubles into the centre of the bow, and again just divided them up. Now the next item I have are these, and they're like a kind of a dried oh, what's the name of the heads? Can't think of the name of the heads. Love in the Mist. They're like a kind of a dried, but they're actually an artificial version of it. And they're a beautiful pearly pink with a little bit of silver on them. Now, when I bought these in, that part there was attached to the centre and they were on a stem. And I divided them up and I made 2 sections, like they're not the same. And I then just wrapped a wire around the end of them. So what I'm going to do is just, again, divide these up in and out through the door wreath. So the actual door wreath itself, we buy these pre-made bases, and we buy these from a company called Irish Green Guys, and they're based down in Kerry. So if somebody there is watching, you might actually tag them. They're both on Facebook and also on Instagram. And like for the last good few years, I'm just going to move this one here. For the last few years, we've been buying in these pre-made bases from this company, and I have to say they're excellent quality. And all of our own students and our own florists, like, we recommend them to buy them in because, as I said, you just can't beat them. They're really, really fresh and they're exceptionally good quality. So if there is any flower shops there watching and you're wondering, like, where do I get my stuff? That's where I get it. That's the great thing when we're here at the school. If we can give a company a little bit of a plug, we will do it. If we don't like something about a company, we mightn't plug it, you know, that way. But if we feel that the material is good, we are always there to let other people know about it. It's all about supporting each other, isn't it? And again, like even with our own floristry students, we always support them, give them a shout out, you know, that way. And especially if it's something that we can't do or we can't offer. Like when we're doing our professional training floristry courses with our students, we include social media training, selling and marketing training, etc. as part of our training with our students. Well, obviously Deirdre and myself, we're not qualified or experts in marketing or social media. Like, we're not bad at it, but that isn't our forte, you know. So again, we bring in experts and we give them a little push, you know, that way, and we will tell our students, listen, go to the experts and learn how to do it properly. Now I'll hold this up in a second, and again you can see I wasn't following any particular pattern. I was just spinning it around on the table, randomly adding the material wherever my eye was drawn to. The next item I have is this silver, it's like a kind of a Leylande fern. It's artificial and it has obviously been sprayed and it's full of glitter as well. And what I did was, that part there was attached to that part, okay? And I cut them and made 2 separate parts out of them and then added a 20 gauge wire. Now it is a 20 gauge wire that you need to use, so just in case anybody's there and you're wondering, will you get away with a 20 gauge, a 22 gauge? No, you won't. 22 is much, much lighter. And what will happen is it'll keep bending and buckling up when you're sticking it down into the frame. Like even with the 20s that I'm using, an odd time, and you'll often see it happening, you know, with me, an odd time when I go to stick the wire in, I actually hit like a branch. And then what happens is the wire actually bends or buckles up. So I have to then take it out and insert it in somewhere else into the base. So you do need the strong wires to make sure, you know, that you can get them down into the frame. Now another little tip for you when you're making and decorating up your door wreaths, you'll often see me spinning, not often, you'll see me doing it all the time, I spin the frame around on the edge of the table, a bit like a turntable. By the way, you wouldn't use these, you wouldn't be able to make these on a turntable. So you see the way I'm spinning that around, okay? And what I'm doing is, the area where I want to stick the item, which is here, is where I want to stick this little piece of silver fern. Always have that close to your belly. Always have that beside you, you know, that way when you go to stick it in. And that way it makes it an awful lot easier. I see so many videos, you know what I mean, on Facebook, and where people are stretching over themselves trying to do it, and it's really, really awkward. And also it makes it harder for you. As well as being awkward, it's also making it much, much harder for you. Now I'm just going to hold this up so you can get an idea what it's looking like so far. So now I'm going to bring a little bit of silver towards the inside of the wreath. So again, the area that I'm working on, I'll have it close to me. But because I wanted to go to the inside of the frame, I'll insert the wire from the inside down and through the spruce. And again, underneath, my left hand is always grabbing the wire underneath and sticking it up into the frame. I think lots of people think, because I don't lift it up off the table, you can see the way I actually have it over the edge of the table and I'm spinning it around, but this hand is underneath all the time and it's feeling around and meeting the wires. I often call this hand the gynecology hand, as in, you know, I don't really need to look to see what I'm doing. This hand is feeling away, poking around down there, and it finds its own little gap or its own little space. So I have one more little piece left. I'm just going to add it in here just for the sake of using it up. So a couple of little stems of silver, or little bits of baubles, and the few little kind of like the dried heads that are actually an artificial. Now what I'm going to do is add a few natural items. So this is where I'm going to add in some of our lotus heads and some of our pine cones. So I always feel, even when you're doing artificial in a wreath, add in some natural material in and out through it. Now if you have any questions at all, put them in the comments, you know, that way Deirdre will watch the comments, and again, if not, I'll go back later on, because I know some of you will be watching these on the replay. I'll go back later on and I'll respond to everybody. Now I know I see a few comments there asking, are we going to do a giveaway tonight? Absolutely. We've been doing a giveaway every night. We might be a little bit late, you know, picking the winners, but we will. Everybody will be picked. So not everybody will be picked, but we will pick the 3 winners for every evening. So for the 12 days of Christmas, we are doing a demonstration every evening at 7 o'clock. And every evening at 7 o'clock, we are offering 3 prizes, okay, to 3 lucky people. The prizes will be a mini, let's see, looking for smaller ones here, a mini Christmas online program where it's going to teach you how to do a couple of different designs of Christmas flower arrangements. None of these are included. These are all brand new designs that we're doing for the 12 days of Christmas. So how can you win the prize? 3 people are going to win. You have 3 different options and you have 3 different ways of entering, okay? So the first way is by sharing this video. Listen, it'll take you 2 seconds. I'm coming on at 7 o'clock every evening, demonstrating a wreath, giving you a free class, and all I ask you in return is to click share. By you sharing our video, it helps our interaction, and it also helps our analytics, you know what I mean, with Facebook. So really, pretty please would appreciate if you shared our video. So anyone who does share it, put it in the comments and tell me that you've shared. And again, we will pick one lucky name out of the people who have shared it. Again, just to let you see how this is coming together. You see with the natural lotus heads and the pine cones in and out between it. The other way that you can win a prize is by naming one of Santa's reindeers. We've been using the same questions every evening, making life really simple for you. So name one of Santa's reindeers. Some people are great, they're naming all 6 or 7 of them. Not sure how many there is. So name off Santa's reindeers then, and again, one of the people that names the reindeers will pick your name as a winner for our prize tonight. And the other way that you can win a prize, keeping it really simple, is just say, pick me, pick me, pick me. Put that in the comments, and again, we will go along and we'll pick somebody that said pick me. You can enter as often as you wish. You can enter by saying pick me, and then enter again by saying share once you've shared the video. And again, you can enter by naming off 1 or 2 of Santa's reindeers. So you can enter as often as you want, as many times as you wish. And again, as I said, we will go back then and we'll pick somebody. What I'm now doing is I'm just looping a ribbon around the actual base, and I'm putting it at the top because I want this bow at the bottom. And I'm just going to tie it into a knot. I'll show you now at the back. And people were asking me, what does the back look like? You know, it looks exactly the same. You don't see any of the wires because the wires are all actually pressed up into the base. So I'm just going to tie that into a knot. I'm going to tie a double knot to be sure, to be feckin' well sure. And I always prefer to leave them 2 ribbons straight and to give them to the person then that they can hang it on their door. They can shorten that, tie a knot, and as I said, tie it onto their knockers or their knobs, whatever way they want to tie it on, and secure it to the door. So again, it is Christmassy, it's sparkly, it's blingy, it's pink, because obviously that's the colour here at Kay's Flower School. But it's a little bit different to some of the wreaths that I have been demonstrating. Make sure you join in 7 o'clock every evening. We have been doing some remembrance wreaths as well. There was lots of people asking about wreaths for graves, and we've done some plain ones and some really fancy ones. But again, if there's something that you'd like us to demonstrate over the 12 days of Christmas, put it in the comments. Any questions, put it in the comments. And if anybody would like any information on any of the courses being held here at Case Flower School for 2025, we've lots of new courses, drop me an email, info@caseflowerschool.com. Thanks a million for joining in. See you all tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. Same time, same place.